What's going on, everyone? It's Shadow here, bringing you another Mortal Kombat X breakdown. This time I'm showcasing all of the Predator's special abilities. I do have to point out that this is actually the first of two breakdowns that I'm posting today, because not only was the Hunter Prey pack released, the Classics Fatality pack was released as well. But regardless, most people will know the Predator from, obviously, the Predator films from the 80s and the Alien vs. Predator movies. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you all of his fatalities, brutalities, and his X-ray, and the end story. He doesn't have very many good ones. I was kind of disappointed. I had high expectations of what his shit would be, but let's start. For his X-ray, you basically have to be standing right next to your opponent, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good X-ray, I'd have to say. Basically sticks him with the claws, throws him, gives him a plasma blast in the face, and then basically, as you saw, it's pretty brutal. So for Fatality 1, it's called Ghosting Us. You have to be close to your opponent, and you have to hit down, down, back, forward, square. And it's, you know, it's kind of bleh. I was expecting, you know, like that fucking net that he used in like Alien vs. Predator, you know. It basically wrapped around the alien's head and gave him that weird, like, chain link fence design on creature's skull. But yeah, he basically shoves a disc into the person's head, and that's it. No harm, no foul. Moving on. Fatality 2 is called the Certain Death, which means you have to be at mid-range, and you basically have to... Okay, so you have to be at mid-range and hit down, forward, back, and up. It took me a few attempts to actually get this right, and luckily I got it on Melina, and I hate Melina with a passion, so I was lucky enough to pull it off on her, and it just suits what I would love to do to Melina. So yeah, like 3 plasma shots, one to the stomach, one to the left arm, and one straight to the face. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad. Could have been worse. So for Brutality 1, it can be done in any variation, and you have to be in... You have to hold down during the final hit. Now the final hit comes from the what the hell technique, which is actually Predator's X-ray. So both him and Jason Voorhees both have a brutality based upon their X-ray. Now the thing is, you have to hold down directly when you activate the X-ray. So as soon as you hit the L2 and R2 buttons, you have to hold down instantly and hope you connect. And that's basically it. Now, Brutality 2 can be done in any variation, and much like the first Brutality, you have to be holding up during the final hit, which is basically just a throw, which you do by pressing L1. Anyone who's been playing the game, as long as I have since day one, should know how to throw. But yeah, again, this is kind of like a what the fuck kind of thing, as most of these brutalities in this game are. He basically sticks his claws, his razor sword wrist thing in, drags it up, pulls it down, and then just swipes away at the stomach. Pretty brutal, but effective nonetheless. Okay, and Brutality 3 can only be done in the warrior variation, which basically means his mask is off and his true face is exposed. But the final hit has to come from the self-detonate, which is done by pressing down, back, and circle. Now, I didn't really understand, but at first I was trying to do this, but it just didn't work. And then I found out you have to be in the final round, and then you basically blow yourself up along with your opponent. And now Brutality 4 is only done in the Hunter variation. And the final hit comes from the Snag, which is done by pressing, again, down, back, and circle. So basically what the Snag is it's basically a trap that you throw on the ground, and you have to make sure that the final hit is your opponent stepping on it, which can be done one of two ways. Throw it in front of them and hope that they walk over it, or throw it behind them and knock them into it just like I did there. But when you do finally get them to land on it, sometimes you'll actually see the Predator like cloak himself and then get into his like little spaceship and fly off, but it doesn't happen in most stages. Brutality 5 is done in the Hishku 10 variation. Now the final hit has to come from a plasma shot, which is done by pressing back, forward, and X. And I figured I would show off Scorpion's new costume because it's basically infrared Scorpion. And Jax's from Brutality 5 was basically the Carl Withers costume for Jax that also came in the Hunter Prey pack. But yeah, this is the final Brutality. It's basically just a plasma shot to the head, and then he follows it up with 2 more, and then that's basically it. So thank you guys for watching, and now I leave you with the Predator's end story. So take care.
This world called Earth produced many worthy opponents, which made for excellent sport. Some possessed a power previously unknown to the Predator's race, sorcery. The Predator sought to harness this new power for use in his conquests. He analyzed a trophy from a recent battle and eventually discovered its secrets. With the power of sorcery, the Predator was unstoppable and decimated whole worlds single-handedly. He had become the apex predator.
Your face is too repulsive to eat.